When creating product bundles, a lot of marketers tend to do the same thing. They'll grab their best sellers, throw them together in a kit, and slap it on the website and hope it sells. And other times it works, but there could still be a way more effective approach to product bundling, which is exactly what I'm going to talk about today. You don't have to leave bundling up to guesswork. Your customers are telling you exactly what products they want to purchase together. All you have to do is learn how to naturally look through those buying patterns to understand which items should be a bundle. In this video, I'll show you a few data-driven approaches to creating product bundles, looking at things like sales history, repeat purchase behavior, and even AI to help you understand which items should be bundled together. That way, you're creating product bundles based on real buying patterns and not just vibes, even though we love vibes. Hey, I'm Tina, and I'm the head of marketing at Simple Bundles, a Shopify bundling app that helps take the headaches out of creating bundles, picking, packing the bundle item orders, and shipping those bundles. We work with over 20,000 Shopify brands, from those in scale-up mode to really large enterprise companies like Glossier, Westman Atelier, Stanley Cup, and more. So trust me when I say I have seen it all, from mix and match bundles to starter kits to wholesale bundles, everything I have seen brands at Simple Bundles create. And one thing across all these customers is always true. The ones that have some of the most successful bundles are created with intention. So the bundles aren't random. They have been strategically curated based on some of the things that I'm going to mention in this video. So let's stop stalling and get right to it. First off, what's the problem with not creating bundles based on this buying behavior? Like I said, sometimes vibes can work super well, but other times I see brands come to me saying, I have bundles, but they're not selling, or I don't know which items to bundle together, and they don't want to just go with guesswork and potentially harm their conversion rate. So you don't want to bundle based on instinct, because when you bundle based on instinct, you end up with offers that don't actually really match your shopper's behavior, could be potentially priced wrong for the audience seeing them. It could come off as salesy or not like a natural product pairing that they would expect. Waste your ad spend because you're driving people to a bundle landing page that isn't actually converting, or potentially even hurt your margins and average order value. I always tell people that bundles should just feel like the obvious choice. When I'm shopping for something and I see a bundle that is so naturally and intentfully curated to be a better next step for what I'm looking for, it's a no-brainer for me to spend a little bit more to get a little bit extra back from the brand. Okay, so the first type is looking at frequently bought together items. This is probably the most common and most expected way to bundle products. All you're simply gonna do is look at your order history and understand which products are naturally already appearing together in customers' purchases. But the question is, how often should something be purchased together to signify that it would be a good bundle? Our rule of thumb is if you're looking at your purchase history and you see two items naturally paired together around 5 to 10% of the time, then that's a good indicator that those items could be a good bundle. Now, obviously, there's some rules here, because maybe 5 to 10% of your customers are purchasing a lip liner, but then going and purchasing shampoo. Just because they're purchasing those things 5 to 10% of the time together doesn't mean I would bundle those items, because that's not really a natural pairing. Natural pairings do have to come into play here. So think things like a lip liner and a lip gloss, or a shampoo with a conditioner, a cleanser and a moisturizer, coffee beans and filters, dog treats plus chew toy. You get what I'm saying. It still has to be a natural pairing, but that 5 to 10% indicator is just telling you that these customers are already naturally pairing these products, so you might as well make it easier for them and provide a bundle instead. This is an effective approach because it'll reduce decision making, it'll feel like a curated set that, again, is natural, and the bundle pricing can also create perceived value. So if they were to buy those items separately, there should be value in them getting the bundle instead, whether that's maybe a free gift with purchase, like if they're getting a lip liner and lip gloss, maybe you're also adding a mini lip balm with that, or maybe they're getting 10% off for purchasing the bundle instead. Whatever you end up going with, the perceived value of the bundle should always feel better than buying those items individually. Okay, so the next way that you can understand which items should be bundled together is looking at subsequential purchase analysis. That might be a phrase that I just made up, who knows, but it's effective. So This is the move a lot of brands end up skipping, and it can be super effective. So instead of just looking at what people are purchasing in the moment, you're also gonna look at what they're buying first and then what they're coming back and buying second. So simple framework is to first identify the primary product that they purchased in their first order, and then track what they came back and bought second. Was it in a 30-day window? Was it in a 60-day window? That also matters, because if you sell products that are something people maybe don't need to only buy once a year, then if they purchase something in, month of March and then came back the next month of March to buy something, I wouldn't consider that necessarily a subsequential purchase. I'm talking within, a week, within a month, within 2 months, kind of keeping it close together and then seeing what was that second order that they made and was it complementary to that first item that they purchased initially. You then want to look for some repeated patterns across all of your customers. So for example, one of our clients is a shoe brand. And when I was looking at their purchase history to help them understand which items they should bundle, I noticed a lot of people were coming and getting their hero product, which were these leather sandals. And then within 30 to 60 days, they were coming back and they were buying a second color of that same sandal, but going with more funky colors. So it was like the first purchase was kind of getting something a bit more neutral, like brown, black, or beige. And then once they experienced the sandal and realized how many more fun colors were available, they would come back and get the gold or the turquoise or the lime green. And so that was a good indicator of maybe creating a bundle where you get your neutral sandal and then you also get the fun colored sandal too. Another example is brands were coming and getting that sandal, and then their second purchase would be to get a leather bag. So they wanted a complimentary leather bag to go with their shoes. So again, we decided to create a bundle where they get the hero product sandal and then they get the bag as well with a discount on the purchase of the bag. Looking at what people purchase first and second can reveal cross-sell opportunities, natural routine pairings, natural replenishment behavior, because maybe they're buying the moisturizer and then coming back within 30 days and getting it again. Maybe that tells you, hey, we should offer this in bulk, get 2 moisturizers for a discounted rate, and just other upsell opportunities that you would never be able to see if you were only looking at what people are purchasing in one single checkout. Think about your customers' pain points and use cases. This is a great way to understand what's going to help them solve a specific problem. So if I am coming to a beauty brand because I have acne-prone skin, then I'm going to look for a bundle specifically for acne-prone skin. Maybe I have a good nighttime routine, but I don't have a good morning routine yet, and I just don't even really know what I should be doing because I don't want to make my skin worse. This is something that the brand does not need to have purchase history about. They just know we have all these specific items that work in the morning that are for acne-prone skin, and we're going to bundle it together and we're going to call it the acne-prone morning routine, whatever. But there's a specific use case with that bundle. You're targeting a very specific segment of your shoppers, and there's a clear problem solution. Skincare sets are just naturally what come to mind for me for something like that, but realistically, the problem solution bundles could work for any industry. Maybe I have a puppy and I don't know what chew toys or treats are good for my puppy, so you can create a bundle for the puppies under 6 months. Another example is maybe I just bought my first home and I'm looking for patio furniture, and I want something that is going to be made with wood and it's going to be a certain look and color, and I need 6 seats. Again, there's a specific use case there of first-time home buyer dining set for your patio. It's things like that that you don't necessarily need to have purchase history if you don't have it available. You just need to know that your buyers are specifically looking for a solution to their problems, and what can you tap into from a buyer psychology standpoint to make sure that you can offer a bundle that solves that. I would use this as a baseline if you're just starting out, to start testing certain bundles and see how they perform. But at the end of the day, I will always say supplement it with data. So make sure you do start getting some data from other purchases so that you can back up your claims on, are these use cases appropriate? Is this the right segment of customer? Am I actually targeting the right people that I thought I was? Maybe I need a different kind of use case because my buyer is a little bit different than I thought. That's why data is going to be so important. And even sometimes bundling on use case can feel a little bit like vibes until you have data to back it up. But again, don't let it stop you. Definitely just start bundling and testing and seeing what resonates with your shoppers. Now, if you're anything like me, data can feel a little bit overwhelming. And so one thing I like to recommend is how you can use AI to make this process easier.
We actually just came out with new AI features at Simple Bundles for this exact reason. It's called Bundle Magic, and there are two features that use AI to intelligently create bundles. First is the Bundle Magic suggestions. So we create bundle suggestions based on your order history and or your product catalog. We can also generate the images and descriptions for you so these bundles are ready to use in just one click. Next is our Bundle Magic Builder. So the bundle editor is where you can describe the bundle that you want to build. You can upload your products that you want to use in that bundle and even click bundle examples to generate prompts for you to automatically fill out. From there, Simple Bundles automatically builds that bundle for you quickly. All of these suggestions are based on your order history and seasonality, so it's automatically pulling in data to create highly relevant bundles for your audience.
Finally, always track the success of your bundles. Even though you're using customer behavior from other purchases, you always want to back up your claims with behavior from the bundle purchases too. So it's really important to work with a platform that offers detailed analytics on your bundle performance. Because even if you're launching gift bundles or bestseller kits, you want to make sure that your bundles are performing the way that you want them to and that they're actually helping your conversion rate and average order value versus hurting it. So you want to look at things like total bundle sales, number of bundles sold, the average order value of those bundle sales, and your top selling bundles as well across your categories so you know what's most effective. If you want to see what this looks like, Simple Bundles does have a free plan that lets you create up to 3 bundles of any type, and you can get these analytics out of the gate as well. Okay, now that you know the frameworks I like to use for creating product bundles, here's a quick checklist so that you can make sure your product bundling strategy is successful. So the simple system goes as such. First, check your frequently bought together items. So do products pair 5 to 10% of the time in the same cart? Next, look at subsequential purchase patterns. So do customers buy item B within 30 days after item 1, for example? Next, look at a profitability check. So can you discount this bundle without killing your margins too much? You should also look at your inventory as well. So do an inventory check. So when people are purchasing these items, whether in the bundle or separately, are those components consistently in stock together? Because if 2 items aren't naturally in stock together, then you also shouldn't bundle those because that's just going to create friction in the buying experience when someone tries to go to purchase that bundle, but they can't because half of it is not available. Then do a targeting check. So again, basing it on a use case, a problem, or even a customer segment. So, maybe this bundle is for never shopped with you before customers, or maybe it's a retention bundle, so it's to bring people back, or maybe again for a specific use case like acne prone skin or something like that. Then lastly, do a performance check. Always track your bundle sales, your average order value, and just consistently iterate and improve. When you do these things, product bundling stops feeling like creative gambling and more like an intentional strategy that is part of your business goals. So always start with behavior, not guesswork, and then you're going to create a repeatable growth lever. That's it for this video. Hope it was helpful. Make sure you check out our channel for other product bundling and general Shopify tips. We're releasing one every couple weeks, or sign up for our newsletter to get these in your inbox as soon as they drop. Make sure you like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.